connected.
Mesh intercom is an adaptive and autonomous intercom technology developed by SENA, which features self-organizing, self-healing, self-optimizing, and multi-hooping group communication. Pretty much, mesh intercom allows riders to connect and communicate with nearby users without needing to pair each headset to each other individually. When mesh intercom is enabled, the headset will automatically connect to all nearby 30K users. After the 30K is turned on, to enable mesh intercom, tap the mesh intercom button once.
Mesh intercom on. Public mode.
You will hear mesh intercom on. By default, it goes into public mode. To turn off the mesh intercom, tap the mesh intercom button.
Mesh intercom off.
A green flashing light when mesh intercom is on, and blue flashing when it's just in standby or in Bluetooth. When mesh intercom is enabled, the headset will be in public mode by default.
Mesh intercom on.
This will allow it to connect with all other 30K users within 1 mile. It has a virtually limitless number of participants. Each headset does not save the individual headset's information for future use, but they can freely float in and out of the group as long as they stay within that about 1 mile range. In private mode, a mesh is a closed network of headsets that participants can leave, join, or rejoin intercom communication without affecting the connection between other headsets. For a closed intercom conversation using mesh intercom, a mesh needs to be created by a user. When a user creates a mesh, the headset automatically switches from public mode to private mode. In private mode, the mesh consists of 1 creator and 15 other riders. Again, 6 people can talk at any given time, and these are just open lines of communication. In an effort to try and minimize noise, there can be 6 people talking maximum at any given moment. When in a private mesh, there's a limitless amount of guests that can also listen into the mesh. The range between a headset and private mode can be up to 1.2 miles, and that mesh can extend up to about 5 miles, and that is from the person in the front to the person in the very back. The audio quality when communicating in a mesh automatically adjusts according to the number of participants. Within a mesh, the headset will automatically save the connection information from all of the headsets that are in the group to easily be connected in a future mesh intercom group. Guest mode comes disabled by default. The guest mode setting can be found in the settings menu, accessible through the SENA Device Manager or SENA's smartphone app. Guest mode allows guests to listen into the closed private group mesh conversation. The creator of the mesh needs to enable guest mode before creating the mesh to allow guests to listen. The guests need to be within range of the mesh to listen in to the closed conversation. When the creator enables guest mode, a virtually unlimited number of guests can listen in to the private mesh. To create a mesh, hold the mesh intercom button for 5 seconds.
Creating mesh. Mesh created. Private mode.
Nearby users that are currently in public mode will hear an invitation to join the mesh. They will hear,
"Would you like to join a mesh?"
To accept the invitation, they tap their mesh intercom button.
Join the mesh. Private mode.
Say this one was not in range, and later they would like to join this already created mesh. Once they are in range, they would tap the mesh intercom button twice, and they will hear searching for mesh. The creator would hear, "Would you like to add a new participant?" For the creator to accept, they tap the mesh intercom button. The participant will then hear, "Joined the mesh." If the creator would like to reject the requesting participant, hold the mesh intercom for 1 second. The participant will hear, "Request rejected." At any time, any of the 30K users can quit the mesh and return back into regular public mode. To do so, hold the mesh intercom button for 8 seconds.
Quit the mesh. Public mode.
When a user quits the mesh, the headset will automatically drop back down into public mode, and none of the stored network information between all the headsets will be kept. Instead of quitting entirely, you can also toggle between private and public mode. To do so, Hold the mesh intercom button for 3 seconds. The microphone comes enabled by default. Users can disable or enable while communicating in the mesh intercom. By holding the mesh intercom button for 1 second, you will hear either mic on or mic off. And a tip. Since the 30K can communicate over Bluetooth and mesh at the same time, it is recommended that you only pair one Bluetooth device to one 30K and then the 30K into the mesh. Do not pair a Bluetooth device to two 30Ks as it'll create a loop. So for each 30K, they get one Bluetooth user. Audio multitasking allows you to have an intercom communication while simultaneously listening to your music, FM radio, or GPS directions. The device audio or music will be played at a lower level in the background while intercom conversation is happening. The audio multitasking feature can be configured through the intercom overlay sensitivity and audio overlay volume management settings.